Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's an Amara. Alright, so I'm here to make for you my list of 2017 fall anime that I will be watching, and at the end of this video definitely I will be telling you which ones I may review and may just watch for my own enjoyment and everything. So pretty much to start off the list is Season 3 to Food Wars. So the description says that Yukihiro Soma had been polishing his cooking skills while helping at a family diner, and one day enters the elite cooking school Totsuki Tea House Culinary Academy. And of course we know all of this. So it goes on to say that he's grown more and more with his craft, meeting new people, challenging new people and everything. After his training is in the actual restaurant, someone finally sees the top of Totsuki Academy, the Totsuki Elite 10, at the Momiji meet and challenges them. The venue that was decided for Soma and the Elite 10 to battle was the Totsuki School Festival, the Moon Festival. What will Soma make at this monster event that brings in 500,000 each year? Meanwhile, someone's plan is coming together in the shadows. Soma's new battle was about to begin. So basically, it's picking up where season 2 leaves off. Season 3 is just gonna start with a bang in the most epic way possible with this. So definitely something to watch, because once I found out this was coming on, I was on the edge of my seat waiting, and it actually is going to start tomorrow. So look out for episode 1 to season 3 of Food Wars, because it's definitely something that's been worth the wait ever since the ending of season 2. The next anime I'm watching is Mahosuki no Yome, or basically the English translation, The Ancient Magus' Bride. The description for this says, Hattori Chise has lived a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. Far from the warmth of family, she has had her share of troubles and pitfalls. Just when all hope seemed lost, a fateful encounter awaits her. When a man with the head of a beast, wielding strange powers, obtains her through a slave auction, Chise's life will never be the same again. The man is a Magus, a sorcerer of great power, who decides to free Chise from the bonds of captivity. The Magus then makes a bold statement. Chise will become his apprentice and his bride. So recently I saw a 3-part OVA regarding this title, and it basically showed her backstory, pretty much about the abuse and neglect. But I pretty much think that really just stems from the fact that she saw things that other people couldn't see. So as a child, she was always frightened. So of course people thought she was strange, and just pretty much after a while stopped paying attention to her. So there was no place she could turn to, and at the end of it, I believe she was sent away to live with a different set of relatives, because in the OVA she was living, I believe, with her aunt and uncle, and her cousins, who really had nothing to do with her. In fact, they actually resented her because her cousins thought that their parents were getting a divorce because she was actually there in their house. So, like I said, it ends with her leaving the house, going somewhere else, and I guess the anime will just pick up from that, showing her, I guess, aged up a couple more years when she's auctioned off to this Magus, and how her life just proceeds from then. So this story, actually, this starts in another 4 days, and really, I shouldn't spoil myself, but since I didn't remember the start date for the show, I guess it's too late to start the manga, but I'm still going to read the manga probably after I finish the show itself, or while I'm watching it, just to see what happens next. Another game, I'm sorry, another show I'm watching is Osama the Game. Osama Game the Animation, which is basically a novel. And the description reads that a high school class containing 32 students all receive a strange text message on their cell phones one night. It welcomes them to the Osama game, in which they are given specific tasks to carry out in a 24-hour period. No one takes it seriously at first, as the tasks are trivial things like having one student kiss another, but soon the tasks escalate beyond what the kids are willing to do. And they learn that the cost of failure is death. Will they be able to find a way out of the Osama game before more people die and the living lose their integrity and humanity through the participation in the increasingly horrible daily tasks? Now this comes out in 2 days, and okay, I'm kind of upset that it's not a manga because I can't really get a hold of light novels, but I'm willing to actually look this up and read it online if I have to, because this sounds really interesting, and it kind of feels like Alice in Borderlands, but they're living in their own reality and not sent to what looks like a post-apocalyptic reality, alternate reality, where everything is determined through games, and if you lose, you pretty much still end up dying. So I can't wait to see what this has in store, because it's a drama, horror, mystery, school, and supernatural show. So having that lineup mix, oh, it's gonna be a doozy of a ride. The next show, and oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this title. It's called Boku no Kanojo ga Miji Mesu Giru Sho Bitch Naken, or just for short, I'm gonna call it Boku no Shoujo Bitch Ken. Basically, this says that with nothing to lose, ordinary high school student Haruka Shinozaki confesses to beautiful, diligent class representative Akiho Kosaka, and to his surprise, she accepts. Kosaka takes dating as seriously as she does everything else, but doesn't quite get it. She pragmatically suggests activities that are too sexual. So this is a comedy school romance show. This is a bit interesting. I'm a little scared as to where this whole thing might go. So of course hijinks are certain to ensue. So that's pretty much no surprise there, really. Though this starts in another 8 days, so I guess depending on the first episode, we'll see where all this goes and how well it goes. No skin off my back with that one. The next show I plan to watch is, if I can remember right, Omae Aite wa Oshiego Tsuyoki na Madaiji. I'm sorry if I butcher these anime titles. The description goes that the two are a female teacher and her student, but they're engaged. Nano is a popular teacher who is admired by students, while Soji, a male student, only gives her trouble. One day, someone she knows introduces her for an arranged marriage. She's worried at first, but later became frank with the man she met and is in a good mood, only to later realize that it's her student in disguise. Even though she rejects the arranged marriage, her student continues to pursue her. So will Nano, a serious teacher, be able to reject Soji's love? So this is all kinds of wrong, but let's just see where this whole thing goes. Sorry, I gotta stop the camera because I can only record 10 minutes at a time. Omae Aita wa Oshiego starts in another 5 days, and honestly, I know teacher-student relations are bad, but this, I'm curious, because it's, the relationship dynamic is kind of basically like what happened in Scum's Wish, only it doesn't fall in the aspect of the consequences of what happens when unrequited love comes into the mix and everything. And I guess, I don't know, maybe it'll have some form of a happy ending, probably? I don't know. The next one I'm going to watch is Konohana Kitan, and the description for that says that in a village inhabited by yokai, the lives of several fox mononoke working in a hot spring inn. The stories revolve around a new employee, Yuzu. Yuzu had always been living in the mountains, but now has to adjust to new life working in a high-class inn. She is oblivious and clumsy at first, but with her simple cuteness, she is able to get along with the other foxes. The show comes out in 1 day and 18 hours. So the simple premise of this is actually pretty cute, so I guess I may watch it. It seems decent enough, so I'm willing to give it a chance. Bear with me, there are a couple of OVA and movies on my list, so I don't know if I'll watch everything, but I guess we'll see. The next show I'm gonna watch is Sengoku Nightblood, and the description for that says, one day Yuzuki is enveloped by a mysterious light, suddenly emanating from her cell phone, and finds herself in an unfamiliar place. The scenery spreads out before her, almost resembling the Sengoku period in Japan. But this is another world known as Shinja, where non-human creatures such as vampires and werewolves reside. Long ago, the various tribes of Shinja lived together peacefully under the protection of the Himemiko, who possessed special blood. However, one day the Himemiko suddenly vanished. With the protection of the Himemiko gone, fucking New York. I'm sorry. The world has fallen into a period of strife as the warlords of the Gega tribes started fighting one another, vying for control. And as if summoned by the unrest, strange monsters called Yakuma run rampant throughout the land, attacking the inhabitants. Hideyoshi Toyotomi has led the Toyotomi army, takes in Yuzuki after rescuing her on the battlefield and accidentally discovering that her blood awakens the latent powers of the Gega tribes. Upon learning of the powers of Yuzuki's blood, the other warlords, Oda, Uesuga, Takeda, Sanada, and Date began pursuing Yuzuki, each for their own purposes. Find a girl from another world, were the parting words from the vanishing Himemiko, left to Imari, a white tanuki bearing a tea kettle. What? Yakuma continues to appear in increasing numbers, and touched by Yuzuki's power, the warlords struggle with what to protect and what to fight. A new story comes together in the midst of war set in another world. Oh, that wasn't easy to explain. So this seems interesting. This actually starts up tomorrow, so I guess look forward to that, because this seems like a lot of fantasy and romance, of course, after the show. A lot of stuff is about to just fall down. It's like falling down the rabbit hole and not being able to find your way back out. So let's just see where this goes. In a sense, to me, it kind of feels like watching Fushigi Yuji, but only without the whole Chinese guardians of the four corners of the earth. Basically, the whole premise is just kind of like that, only more complicated in a way. I would watch Love Live, but I'd never seen the first season, and honestly, music animes don't really capture my attention that well. I'm sorry to anyone who likes it. It's just my personal opinion. Next show I plan to watch is actually not particularly a show, it's an OVA. So, well, basically I'm gonna watch the Super Lovers OVA. No batting around the bush with that. I'm gonna watch the Super Lovers OVA. Because I'm interested to see what that has in store. I've been seeing seasons 1 and 2, and I believe the season 3 was greenlit. I'm not sure. I have to look again to find where I might have seen that at. But yeah, I think I saw that, but I'm not completely sure. Another OVA that I'm watching would be Nekopara. So any of you who've heard of the game, which I heard of from the YouTuber Lost Pause, it's interesting to see how that will come out. I believe I saw the trailer for that, and it looked adorable, so I definitely plan on watching it. Because, come on, adorable cat girl maids? Who wouldn't want to see that? I believe I covered everything on my list. The last thing I would have to talk about would be the 3 movies that I have on my list, which are... what the hell? The 3 movies I have on my list are Free, Take Your Marks, and Free Timeless Medley Kizuna. So, Free Take Your Marks is basically the sequel to Timeless Medley from Free. So, I guess talk about Timeless Medley first. So, Free Timeless Medley Kizuna is a compilation film focused on the members of the Iwatobi Swim Club along with added footage. And I believe that's just scheduled for a DVD release, but I guess eventually it'll be put online, so I guess I'll have to wait for that. And Free Take Your Marks is getting a theatrical release, and that is oh my god. The description for this says that it takes place in March with Haruka dealing with graduating from high school. It depicts 4 stories set in the days of early spring before the characters advance to the next starting block of their futures and what lies ahead. So, of course, from the 2nd season of Free, I want to call it Free, Eternal Summer, Haruka and his friend, I keep forgetting his name. Shoot. I seriously can't remember his name. But it's Haruka and his friend pretty much graduated high school and they're moving on to college now. So this is basically just showing the group's story progressing after graduation and everything, and I guess what happens after that. And then lastly, the last movie I'm watching is Dance with Devils Fortuna, and a synopsis has not been released for that yet, but it is getting a theatrical release. Now, I guess a lot of you have seen Dance with Devils, and you pretty much know what that's about. One girl is getting pined over by several devils, and her cousin, half-brother, something like that, who also has devil blood in him. So, I kind of want to see where this goes, but these movies are not going to be released for a while, so I definitely have time to just binge their respective shows and just see where that takes off. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and that's it. Leave your comments down below, like, share, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in my next video with the starting reviews. Luna out.